Today's topic, the art of dabbling. Hi, I'm Doug Holt with author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you up-level what we call the 5 to thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. The art of dabbling. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not an art at all. When you dabble, you actually don't go anywhere. You can't focus. You've heard that saying, jack of all trades but master of none. Well, that happens in our lives too, right? Our careers. We seem to always dabble at that shiny new object. And if you're an entrepreneur like me, it's easy to get caught up in that. But how often are we dabbling in our own life? So I realized this in school, and you see this often where you're taking a history class that has no relationship to the English class you're taking the next hour, which has no relationship to the math class you're taking the hour after that. There's no linear progress. You're just kind of dabbling in these subjects year after year as you're building them on. Now you are going in and you are diving into them year after year, but there's not a deep dive. Now we've all also heard that if you want to master a language, how do you do it? Total immersion. You dive in. It's the absolute best way. And take it for somebody who's been trying to speak Spanish for so many years. I listen to audios every day, but when I actually went down to Colombia or when I've traveled around the world, when I dive deep, I learn so quickly. It's a necessity. You're in the environment. It's the best way to do it. Just like when I started my agency, marketing, I dove deep. I was studying marketing 12 plus hours a day every single day. And I did this for a long time. I still study today. It's just something I'm very passionate about because it allows me to get my message. It allows me to achieve my mission. It's the act of diving deep. Now, I personally also did this in my own personal development and growth. You see, I started on the path of personal development at a very young age, and then I went into business development. And each time I dove really deep. I've took, Tony Robbins has got all these courses, and my wife and I did them in less than 2 years, all of them. We went all in and went big, and we still study, and I do this every single day. So that's what I want to ask you in your life, in your career. Maybe you're an accountant and maybe, you're really good at what you do, but you're kind of dabble in this new stuff that's going on here. Or maybe you're a marketer or you want to be a marketer. You want to have your own marketing agency. Maybe you dabble a little here, you listen to a podcast here and there, and then you go off and you learn a little coding, but actually then you start learning something else because all of a sudden cryptocurrency is big and maybe I can make some money on investments in Bitcoin or some of the new cryptocurrencies that are coming out. And I get it, right? We have so many distractions because our inner game isn't solid. And that's why these daily growth hacks, like if you're doing these daily growth hacks and you're actually doing the work and doing a deep dive, how can you take it to the next step? What books can you read? How often are we dabbling? And some of you have mastered something. You've mastered photography. You've mastered, scuba diving. I know a lot of the listeners out there who've shared what their crafts are. We have a YouTube person on that listens every day and always sends me messages. So if you mastered your craft, but how many are just dabbling in your own life? You're just barely scratching the surface. You're just dabbling in who you are as a person. What are your possibilities? You're limitless. So what is it? So why not dive real deep? Now, you can do this in a multitude of ways, and this is exactly why we created the Author of Your Own Story University. Now, you don't have to go to the university. Of course, we think it's the best. We only created the Author of Your Own Story University because we couldn't find anything that we thought was good enough. We couldn't find anything that we wanted, so we created something. We created something that was amazing, and we dove deep into this. And we're throwing everything we can at it. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, I just got 120 MP3 players that we'll be shipping out to our members. So that's just one example, but you don't have to do it with us. Listen to these daily growth hacks and try something else. If you're mastering interpersonal relationships, make sure you go all in. Read 30 books and see what all the authors say and come with kind of a general census on the topic. What exactly you want to do. Maybe you're trying to master a part of your spirituality. Maybe you really want to just dive in, talk to different spiritual leaders, talk to people who have different faiths that will challenge your beliefs and make you look at them a different way. I think that's good. That's healthy. But if you're going to do it like yourself, you're going to dive deep in anything, you need to dive deep into yourself first because that is your foundation. When everything around you starts to shake, the world comes, things happen, right? We have things that are thrown at us, people's expectations, timelines, we get sick, other people we get sick. If you don't have a solid foundation on who you are as a person and who you are as the author of your own story, that will all crumble. Don't dabble. Do not dabble. So what I want you to do right now, grab your journal. Write down your 5 to thrive. This is what we always do, right? Because this works. Write down your 5 to thrive in each of those 5 to thrive areas. That's your mind, body, soul, relationships, and business. I want you to write down where you're dabbling and where you're diving deep. Maybe right now you're on a deep dive into your physical performance, and there's somebody else out there that sent me a message today that was telling me about how they've changed their lives with their diet, their exercise routine, not drinking any alcohol, and I applaud you, and you know who you are. But what are the other areas? Are you dabbling everywhere else? Or are you making sure those are consistent while you're doing your deep dive? So where in your 5 to thrive are you just dabbling and not really diving deep? Now, also what I want you to do is write down below that and be honest with yourself. Look in the mirror. Really be honest and raw. And this is a time for you. Are you diving deep within you? Do you really know yourself? Have you really dove in deep into the subjects of intimacy, into creating the life that you really, really want? You know, when you look around right now, are you living your dream? If you're not living your dream, it's a shame, right? It really is. And I'm not mad at you at all. I'm only mad at you if you don't live your dream and aren't striving to do so. Then I'm gonna get upset because I think everybody has the inherent right to live life at its fullest and on their own terms. And that's what I want for you. So I want you to journal. You know, are you really just a dabbler right now? And that's okay, because the first thing is just recognizing that. And if you are, I want you to write down, what is it like to be a master? What is it like to dive deep into your own personal and business development? And what is that gonna look like? Now, is that gonna look like joining a program like Author of Your Own Story University? Is that gonna look like getting a mentor? Is that gonna look like reading 30, 60, 100 books? Is that getting your 10,000 hours, as you know, is often talked about in different books like The Tipping Point or Malcolm Gladwell's other books? Get 10,000 hours to master a subject. Well, have you spent 10,000 hours focusing on you, deep diving into who you are and what you're about? And if you haven't, schedule it. This is the time. You're gonna thank yourself a year later, and I'd love to hear from you too. I'm not looking for a thanks, but I'd love to hear from you and just hear more about your journey. Because as you're on your journey, it inspires me and it inspires the other people around you, and I can share it. I can share it with others. And see, that's my journey. My journey, my passion is to inspire and help over 1 million people live the Author of Your Own Story lifestyle. That's why I do this, and that's what lights me up. That's it for me today. Remember, do the work and go out and be the author of your own story. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below, and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these Daily Growth Hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.